I don't know if you've got
I would
there's a
agree.
line of code somewhere that you put in or something, but Hydra's Zentari are just more jacked. They're even wider than normal
Yeah.
Zentari. You know, there's something going on there.
It does feel like they've got some like extra AI coded in somehow that makes them pull back at the exact right time every game. It's just one of those things where he just doesn't seem to lose them, and then he has more, and you just get steamrolled, and you're like, wow, all right, never mind.
Yeah.
I got the scouts passing each other though, so both players are going to have full scouts of each other. It does look like both are saving up to go for that natural expansion. I would assume in this game Santa's just going to take the normal natural because, well, otherwise you're just kind of inviting some complicated situations. I think if you start mixing up the game early,
you don't want to mix that up and then realize that Hydra watched the last match and go straight to your now extraordinarily vulnerable third. Or unnatural in this case. You know, their third out there one, you know, like really, I was like, okay, well, that's a good way to lose a game fast. Because you, and this is one of the things about playing someone like Hydra who's, you know, so skilled, is that every little step back feels like something that's really hard to, you know, claw back. Every little defeat you have, you know, it builds so much, and it's so hard to take back advantage from a really good player.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be ridiculously challenging to claw these sort of things back.
So we got.
Oh, you go.
I was just gonna say that Legion Hall positioning. I've seen a few people do that, and I really like it. This kind of forward Legion Hall, extra hallowed ground in the area, and then also there's like a choke there, for free. You know, really narrow to pass through, and you can get to the Pyre really fast.
Yeah, I really like this too. It just kind of solidifies that area, and it also means that if you're producing units, they are going to come out right there where you need them in the fight. It's not quite the same as pulling the neutral camp into... Oh, the T-bots are ready to sit on it though. Oh, I honestly think Santa got a little bit lucky that one neutral went back, because otherwise that was going to be Hydra's. That tower's just going to slowly finish them all off.
Yeah. It's such a strange little...
Oh, there's Zentari going to claim it though.
Yeah.
I know. Ah, Santa's going to be kicking themselves. They're probably moments away from having some Icor out, but they're not going to get that Pyre, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
They are.
Just a touch late. Oh, he's going for the scout. Santa's trying to delay as long as possible with the scout. It's tempting. I mean, look at it. It's so low. Hydra, I guess, hasn't realized that there's still a creep there?
No, I think Hydra knows, but I'm not sure what they're waiting for, because it does seem like it was...
That's a misplay,
Did they not realize? Maybe he didn't notice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Little grey symbiote creep on the grey ground. That's, wow. Another win for Santa. That's what I love to see. Yeah.
yeah. I think Hydra's gonna be fine though. I think they're gonna trade camps. That he's gonna take a bit of damage here from the Icors, which is unfortunate. But the Zephyr will trade back, so overall fairly even.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the adjustment into this heavy Icor play. You know, this is, you know, Magical earlier was using plays that seemed like Santa plays. This seems like a Magical play. You know, the very Icor heavy style.
Yeah, Hydra.
Sorry. I meant to say Magical, and Santa's using Magical plays after Magical used Santa plays. Yeah, I'm using the wrong. They're all this set. Yeah. A single Zentari. People do this. This is so annoying. Zentari, because they're so healthy, a single unit, it's its own little harassment thing. You look how they just waddle out. Now, there's a Javier, our art director, does this all the time as well, and it's so annoying and frustrating to deal with. Someone walks one Zentari into the back of your base, and they just hustle on in, and it's hard to catch. And even if something does catch, they just walk past all your towers. They've got enough health. Oh, we just hanging here.
Yeah, this one might be a redo based on a little bit of a disconnect there from one of our players. That's unfortunate. But that's fine. We'll get back into the game. Nothing too crazy had happened there. No game-deciding moments just yet. I mean, Hydra will have a second chance at getting that Pyre camp that was missed, and well, Santa gets a second chance at setting a teapot on that Pyre camp so that the tower actually works correctly. Yeah.
No, it's an interesting thing, and I can't wait to see the meta develop around Santa's tower pool. You know, it's like, oh, I'm playing against Santa. Maybe I do need something over there so that when he tower pools, I can take advantage of that.
Yeah. For sure. It's going to be It's going to be an interesting meta for sure. It does look like Santa was getting some Zakal as well to follow up, so it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see kind of what the plan was there, you know? Like, Icor's obviously really good for that early map control, but on Frontiers, it doesn't quite feel like Canyon. Like, Canyon has this real openness kind of feel to it, where Icor's can really get a lot done, really pick apart a player, but Frontiers just feels that little bit more kind of contained, so... I'm not sure it's going to work as well on Frontiers, but we'll see, because clearly Hixen had a plan to get into some Zakal and kind of make some plays from there, and it might be that he was just going to overmake those Zakal to try counter the Zephyrs, because we know that Zephyrs are the, like, standard default counter to Icors, and anytime you don't see a Master Hunter out on the map straight away, you know that they're going Icors. You just, you can guarantee it, so you better be building your Zephyrs up.
No, for sure. I think, yeah, you need to get those Zephyrs up, and then 2, it's actually not that bad for Hydra, because Hydra's been very good with the Zephyrs in the past, right? The wind step micro on the Zephyr means that you can really get heaps of value out if you have the spare time and micro available and attention to really take care of those units, and Hydra is one of those players. So, I mean, transitioning to Zephyrs is a, that's a very natural, I think, move for him, and I think even Zephyr into Zakal is like a pretty even kind of fight-based matchup, like, you know, who has the better engages and who can poke away better, and so I think that's actually probably pretty comfortable for Hydra to move into that stage of the game.
Yeah, I would agree. Actually, like, even part of the counter to Zephyrs is having some Hunters in there usually for the DPS, and so if you have skipped Hunters and gone straight for Icor and Zakal, you are lacking just a little bit of that kind of backline DPS. It can trade well, it can trade fine, but it's not like a counter composition, you know? You're not going to get any big wins off your strategic choice there.
No, I think as well, like, then you're behind, right? Like, because if you do need Mass Hunters, which you probably do at some point later, right? Like the sheer volume of damage, you're going to be behind on other things as well. Like your offering will be behind, right? Like in the upgrades to offering, right? And so it's going to be interesting. I think there is an onus on Santa to kind of try and find an angle to get something done here. Because I know when Magical had that last game against Ajari, he had the ability to kind of sneak in on Ajari, but you can't really do that with those cycles. You can't go for that against Warzone. You can't go for that instant kill kind of thing. So you need to try and get something. And
there's opportunities with Red Harvest, you know, to take crazy fights and major
Red Harvest is a very strong spell.
But you have to take it at locations where, like if you try and do it at a Citadel, well, you just know that Empire Unbroken is going to come down, and I don't think it works out well. You know, Empire Unbroken's so strong defensively that I think you have to really pick the spot that you're trying to fight as well. Like, maybe if he sneaks into a natural and manages to get like a Red Harvest fight, that would be good and can kind of take out a base or something. But I mean, Hydra's crisis management is top tier as well. So it's gonna be tough to force one of these kind of situations. So we'll have to see what Sen has in mind.
It's definitely the biggest weakness, I think, of Red Harvest, like, is that it's very hard to get your opponent to want to fight in it, you know? Like hey, I'm casting my big, powerful ability. I'm the matriarch of the Iron. They're like, oh, never mind then, thank you. But no thanks. I'll be going.
Scary. I'll leave. Yeah.
Ooh, better not then. I've had enough already. I'm gonna pop on home. Yeah. Not interested. Yeah. So it is kind of a hard one to get those good fights. But when you get them, every unit that dying become a Queedle, man, that is so strong.
Yeah.
Just the extra.
And that's why you need to force it at those locations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a classic thing as well, where like that kind of tension between like when you have an army advantage, you want to try and pick a location that forces the fight, forces them to actually respond to it, because it really, like, if you are taking it somewhere in the middle of the map where they don't care, there's no need to take it, you know, you may as well not. All right, so we see players locking in again, of course, same Immortals because it is a remake game, and we're jumping right back into it. So let's see. Is it going to be the same snafu around the Pyre camps? Like, we'll look for that clean game and see what we get.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Immortal. What a game. What a banger. Jeez, who was in charge of making this? Smart people. Shout out to the team.
Oh my
All
god, they
winners.
must be handsome and awesome, that team.
Oh, everyone in the team actually. Weirdly enough, would you believe that? Everyone in
That's
Sunsphere is.
crazy. Every
They're all
single
cool.
one.
Yeah, I know. Statistically, you'd think it unlikely, but here we are. Yeah, and then we got mirrored expansions going down for both players here. So pretty similar to last game actually. So nice out the door, and all very standard. Now what is this? Is this Legion Hall mode? Okay. For a second there, I was like, Hydra's adjusting. He's learning from Santa.
What have we seen?
He's pulling 12 camps. Like, oh yeah, a little bit more forward. And I kind of like that. You're still making that choke point, but the hello ground is a bit more out on the map now. Before, when it was further back, it was a bit more eclipsed by the citadel there. Oh, and this is gonna be a.
Oh, is this a win? Oh.
Oh, that's big. The micro. Sheesh.
Santa with the
Look at
win.
Look at those two best buds. Scouts hooting out on the map.
We have seen that more and more actually since the scout attack came in, where people will actually double up their scouts to maintain these kind of
when the scout
defensive things where you can deny scouting, right? Like
and then your two scouts be. Oh, never mind.
Never mind. Second. Oh, we are going to see hunters. Why has he got so much ether then? I'm so curious. It looks like a little bit of indecision from Santa. I think his plan was to go for a lot of hunters and try and get some sort of an early Pyre control into like a red harvest. But the little bit of indecision where there's like a lot of Pyre coming down, we do have in your state. This could be a offering rush to try and get some like really like powerful mass hunters out on the map early. Hydra will be familiar with the strategy, but probably won't have played it for a long time because everyone has been using those Icors because Icors are so strong early game. Oh, we even see a Keeper of the Hardened Flame coming out early as well, which Hydra could be going for upgrades or just for some defensive fire things, but I suspect this will be for early upgrades. This could catch Hydra off guard. I think Santa today, strategically, has been nailing it. Oh, straight into Zakal.
A lot of
them. This is so really interesting. Just immediately countering the Zephyrs.
Yeah, but I wonder here. Well, I mean, the Zephyrs are coming out, so he did read correctly. Like he's read the right thing. It's so preemptive, which is fascinating. You know, to read like, you know what, they're gonna get Zephyrs. I know you're gonna get Zephyrs. I'm just gonna build the Zakal now. Let's just skip all the Icor step. That's a whole hassle. Save money on Icors, and the thing is, like against Centauri without Hello Ground, you can still
nicely maneuvered.
Kite these units around, right? Like they're not great against Centauri, but they're enough that you can chip away at them, right? Like you're not losing the fight with Zakals.
Yeah, that's
can I just point out?
Like, yeah, go.
Just briefly, Hydra did use his worker to go and pull that creep camp back into the base he had there, so that adjustment has been made. I don't know if he's doing that in the earlier games, but there is more worker pulling of camps.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see everyone adopting that.
He's evolving.
Yeah, Santa the meta maker. Yeah.
Oh, here comes harassment Centauri.
Yeah, the single harassment. Javier, eat your heart out, you. You bastard.
Do you think these Zakals are getting anything done? I don't think they're getting anything done. So. Not with the army sitting there. He was like, yeah, let's try it. Oh, never mind.
So if all the ether is just going into these Zakals, man, that guy is low. He's trying to maneuver one to take the hit, which is
nicely maneuvered.
Oh, the micros.
Oh, micro Santa.
Who is he? Sheesh. All right. Well done. He's kept everyone alive, and now he just needs that tower there to heal up.
If he catches that one Centauri and picks up that neutral tower while he's like kind of healing up, that's great news for him. I think he's had a great opening. Like. He's got the counter units already. He's you know, kept even on Pyre. He'll have to claim the next Pyre camp on the left if he actually does want to keep up, since Hydra has claimed that one on the right just slightly sooner. But overall, a really nice opening from Santa. I really like what I've seen. Hopefully we're going to see the upgrade for the Zakal, the Godflesh Bark, come in soon, and that's a fantastic upgrade for durability. The Zakal takes so much less damage. But I mean, Hydra's still making Zephyrs, so clearly Hydra knows something that we don't, or is really confident, maybe just in the win step micro, but apparently they're feeling good about it still.
I think Hydra's out there and he's like, you know what, I am sick. I am kind of crazy. I'm just gonna straight up win. Woo! I'm enough
Oh my god.
I love incubators.
Look at that unit. Love you.
Oh, what a gorgeous unit. Still not final on the textures and a couple of other little notes on this unit, but keeping in mind that it's not final, I think this unit looks fantastic. yeah, man, that is
so cool
so
to
much
see that, actually.
meat. Look at all those Zakals. Like, there's Hydra's whole army shooting at Zakals.
Oh, Bloodwell in the back. Oh, this is so exciting.
This
There's a fire singer setting up, but if he can predict this Bloodwell, oh, it might go down immediately, but he's going to take the hits for it.
So much health, mana. Oh, Mike, he's just going to abandon it going on this fire singer. I think he thinks he has enough army here to win the fight, so it's more important to get in and get the damage than predict the Bloodwell and just trade.
He's getting chipped away at, though. It's going to be really hard to force a fight here. I'd love to see him get in that mineral line and actually try and... I guess he's just going for buildings with this Carl damage. I don't know if this trade's going to be good enough, though. He still needs to be able to fight the army to get out. And, like, accidentally attacking the building here is really awkward. Red Harvest was nice.
Chase these down.
He's still got... Yeah.
The incubator count is really high now, and so there is more consistent damage as the fight goes on, but I'm worried that he's just losing a few too many units. If that Bloodwell was, like, a little bit safer, I think this would be a completely different story, right? The shield that Aru have regenerates really fast when you're out of combat on Rootway. The overgrowth regenerates quickly, and you get the extra mana feeding into these incubators, so you're spamming out all these free units and giving all your other units a chance to chip away. But I think right now there's actually too many Zephyrs, and the Zephyrs can just kind of move forward, poke a unit out, and then...
don't go up here, Santa. This is very risky. I was really liking it right up until this moment. I was about to say, I think Santa's done such a good job because he killed the Soul Foundry. Unfortunately, he's just getting, like, distracted here a little bit. Half the units hitting buildings, half the units... He is preventing mining, though. That might be enough, as long as he just doesn't lose this critical massive army.
Another Red Harvest. He needs to get something with this Red Harvest. You know, these units are kind of low, and so he needs to get some value done. And I think this Legion Hall, because he did get 2 production structures, we can't forget that. That's a huge swing in the amount of max population you can bring, the full army you can bring to, like, Bear, right? And so if he can get this Legion Hall out of here after this Empire Unbroken time's out, that's going to be massive. And it's going to be hard, because there's Hello Ground, and there's 2 Citadels there. It's a real hard point. So yeah, he's going to have to back off. But that is, that was close, and I don't hate
the one
thrum. One thrum, we didn't even notice. I don't know if the Zab even noticed.
Santa's so funny. His opponent is going only Zephyr.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna drop a flying unit.
We put in a flying unit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, that is so funny. I think you're right, though. I think if that Bloodwell had been slightly further back, and even if he hadn't done that second Red Harvest, but had done another Bloodwell, I think that would have been amazing for him. And I think it would have kept the pressure up. And now we're just seeing getting picked apart just a little bit with the range on these Zephyrs. And now the Zentaria being added back in and just kind of eating some of these shots. It's going to be tough. We need to see the next move, right?
Well, the thing that's really hard here is this Bloodwell's great, and it's going to heal up these units and replenish their mana or their blood. But the real issue here is that now Hydra has wind step, right? And you saw in that fight, all the Zakars went up, they shot a Zephyr, and that Zephyr immediately wind stepped to the back of the pack. And it's going to be so hard to eat through all of that health and actually kill anything now.
Yeah.
And I think Hydra's just going to keep building Zephyrs until until this game ends. Like, I think he's confident enough in their wind step. There's a couple of resonance out here, which is a great adjustment. Super strong against those heavy armored Zephyrs. So I think the real question now is, like, can you get a good angle on this fight? Yeah, this is a really big pack of units.
I love the idea of what Santa was going for as well, because I can see this playing out. Like, if this had played out just slightly differently, I can totally see it going in Santa's favor as well. I think Santa's got to be careful here, because I don't think he quite has the critical mass of Resonant, but I think if another 2 come out and he can get a nice siege position, this would be perfect for him. But I can see what Santa might have been going for, because can you picture a situation where he trades a little bit harder with the Red Harvest, then the Resonant come out and he worthies the Resonant?
Oh, yeah.
You know, imagine if there's blood sitting there ready to go, worthies up the Resonant, and then gets the, like, slammer position. Ah, that would have been perfect. It's a shame that Hydra was so onto it with, like, pulling back the Zephyrs, so we didn't trade and just give blood to Marlow, because obviously that's something you don't want to do. But I love the strategy from Santa, and this looks like a free ancient.
No, and that's super important, right? Like, if Orzum's got 5 of those Citadels, I mentioned it before, it's really hard to keep up in that Pyre game for the rest of the match. And so making sure that you're taking all the Pyre that's actually out on the map that you can take is really important.
And is there a better unit that benefits from Rain of Blood than an Incubator? I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, there you go. There's that critical mass for resonance, right? Like, and so now it's gonna come down to how this engage goes, right? Because I think this is gonna be a pretty substantial fight. There's another single thrum.
Harass thrum.
Just humming their way. 3 mass hunters.
Oh, this is passing.
In the night, yeah.
This,
oh, no.
This is really dangerous for Sander, though. He wants to have these Resident Siege. He doesn't just want to be unsieged. It's a nice push in, though. If he gets these Resident Siege in front of these Legion halls, it's going to be all over. Oh, this is a lovely push.
Yeah, and it's so hard because you don't really want to trade into this because everything you do in damage is just becoming more Queedle and becoming more blood for Mala, and then that blood can be used, as we were talking about before, to make those resonance worthy, right? Which is you know, they get more health, they get more damage, they get a little bit bigger, and they're going to seed this blood wall, which I'm not sure about because if you fight around that, you can gain a lot of Pyre from units dying nearby, so I'm not sure if I would have let that go. I think he had enough to trade there a bit.
Yeah, I think the Hallowers do change the equation here quite significantly, though. Like, you've got to be careful when the Coffin of Doom comes out. Like, that guy, my goodness, he hits hard. And if you're just sitting there with your Resident Siege and they just get absolutely beamed, then not great. It's a shame to be losing all these blood wells, though. Ah, if only he was in position. Yeah,
a bit of a shame there. That said, the Hallowers are going to have a hard time. If they're not being target fired, then they're just going to hit Queedle and units like that, just random units lying about. And so, yeah, this Red Harvest is a bit aggressive. Units,
yeah, I think Sander should be holding off just a little bit longer before pulling the trigger on that Red Harvest, just until the fight's slightly more committed. Hydra's going to kite him back every time. Oh, this is a risky position. If your Resonance are at the back, they could get picked off.
Deploying the Resonance, so they're going to be able to chip into this. Yeah.
I like the reactionary Bloodwell, and these Bloodbound making their way around the side. That could cause huge problems in the mineral line. We'll have to see if these Hallowers can kind of dismantle the army in the meantime, though. Oh. Nice! Preparing to blink over the wall. Very cool by Sander.
Oh, the Resonance here are caught out. They're going to get caught out here. 3 free Resonance. 1, 2. Oh, geez. That is a massive game swinger. Oh! Got the Root Vice coming out now. Let's go ahead and see some Spellcasters there. Really
key units.
Yeah, Bloodbound just chipping away at this Legion Hall. Really good damage. 3 Absolvers deployed here is not the fight you want to take almost ever. And it's going to show out now. The whole army is just going to evaporate. Yeah, and Santa's realized a little too late that he's lost a little too much. He's kept that 1 Resonant alive, but it's a bit much. And now there's a whole army of motes trying to take the Bloodbound. Bloodbounds are losing, which is hilarious. Wow, they're keeping Hydra busy, but I mean, I don't know if it's going to matter. Oh my god. I think Santa may have been distracted moving those Bloodbound around and forgot to keep an eye on, you know, the meat of his army. His population is telling a huge story here. Hydra's at 155 to Santa's 92. And a lot of that is in very expensive Absolvers and Hallowers, so it's a seriously bad spot to be in for Santa.
Yeah. Santa's doing well with bases, okay? So
he has got bases,
he's not out of it yet. And harassing as well with a Symbiote now.
He'll use anything. He'll use
anything. You give that man a pencil, he'll harass with it. Like, my goodness.
All right, so this choke is a bit hard.
I don't know
and
about
there's
this
way
fight.
Too many Absolvers.
When he sees the Absolvers, oh!
Yeah. Never mind, sir. Sorry, I seem to have made a mistake. This is the wrong fight. I think my fight was over here somewhere. Apologies. Yeah. Okay, so this is really tough for Santa.
Yeah, Santa's definitely going to struggle here. The thing is, if Santa had just held on that 1 Red Harvest that was a little early and had it for that fight into the Absolvers, that would have been game-changing. But now he's got to battle this huge block of Absolvers out of his choke while his base dies on the other side. And I don't see a way to save this. Like, the one Omnivore is doing, it's absolute darndest, but, like, it's...
it's not enough.
We're going to have to see a Red Harvest push, I think, and that's the only way out of here, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fight into these Absolvers. The Resident have to do their job, but like, the Hallow is just going to chip away at this. Like,
yeah, so the thing here is, like, these Residents are, like, super threatening, and you don't really want to walk in, especially with those Zephyrs, you're going to take heaps. However, there's not really a rush. Oh, yeah, there it is, the Red Harvest. There's going to be so many Queedle spawning, but I think the damage is just too low. Like, the Absolvers are going down, target firing's not quite enough, though, and the Queedle, a lot of Queedle, a lot of blood.
Concave.
Oh, yeah, just well played. I think this is really nice. I love to see this because, you know, Hydra's on 4 bases, and one of them's not mining right now, right? So that's not much of a difference between the 2 players. I mean, obviously that was not mining either. That is a base.
That run bucket was a game-changing play. Santa, does have that left side base, at the 9 o'clock position, and Hydra had the advantage with the 3 o'clock base, but that advantage has been nullified with 5 10 HP hunters.
Yeah.
Amazing little comeback from Santa here.
Yeah, and he's really chipping away at this building. Someone needs to go over there and save this thing, put out the fires. It's really done.
Yeah, Santa's going to pick up a few units back at home, which is a nice little win. They've just been mismicroed a little bit. And now we've got some Behemoth coming out, and there's a little bit of blood in the bank as well, so we might see those worthy resident. That base that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So it's getting really hard now, I think, for Santa.
Yeah, preemptively taking that kind of 10 o'clock base, though, might end up saving him the game, because I don't think Hydra's expecting that to be taken. It's unlikely he goes, oh, Absolvers on the ramp!
High ground Absolvers is the worst ground Absolvers to fight into. So not the play. And man, look, half this army is Absolvers and Hallowers. Are there any Immortal? Oh, there's a couple of Zentari in there, but my god, that is a high ether army, you know? And it's been building up over time, and that's one of the things I think is the most threatening, right? Like, the population, obviously Santa's trying to climb it and claw his way back up into the race here, but the reality is that so much of Hydra's population is in these extraordinarily powerful super unit kind of, you know, like, it's a huge array of Hallowers and Absolvers. What do you even do against that, right?
Behemoth is an avenue here. I would love it if he just crawled those a little bit further forward rather than the stand ground just out of range, because the Behemoth really are the way to kind of claw your way back into this. But that is the one possibility, is that all of that army that Hydra has doesn't shoot up. So we're going to have to see some Castigators in here. Yeah,
here comes the Sharu now to try and pick out some of these key units. Yeah,
I'd love to see Santa take some of these units and split them off again. Oh, it looks like he has. That same base is under attack again. Never mind. Brilliant.
Might be the same two dudes.
Will make it happen. Yeah. This is a ridiculous trade. It's a ridiculous trade. I love this game. This game is such a good back and forth. Hydra's army is amazing, but if Santa can delay long enough, Santa actually has an eco advantage.
Yeah, which is crazy, right?
It's crazy we're saying that.
This base, what the?
And that's nicely handled as well.
Base.
It just needs to be a huge Behemoth count. That's the thing. Like, look, there's like 8 Hallowers. There's so many Hallowers, because he was expecting all these Resonant, but it just hasn't worked out that way. There's just not that many Resonant. It's just kind of a mixed army, and if Santa really can get like the big Behemoth production going, losing this base again is painful, but if we get that big Behemoth production going, this army just doesn't shoot up. We don't see any Castigators.
You know what I need to see from this? There's the pillar. Finally.
Oh my god!
Because that is so many Absolvers. Actually, but the Queen are just spawning out of the woodwork with that. Oh, I have no idea how this fight's going. There's a whole lot of Zippers at the back and a couple more Absolvers, and they're going to try and chip away. This pillar's doing heaps of work, but they might be able to shoot it down. The Absolvers are getting sniped again. The pillar's gone. There's no one in it, rather. Birthing Storm.
Birthing Storm in the middle of it all. The Behemoth is still alive. This is an amazing fight for Santa.
Incredible engage. That is so sick. The Absolvers at the back getting caught out, and this has been so funny. Hydra was on 500 Pyre at the start of that fight. He needed to be pillaring way more often. He's probably sitting there watching the cooldown and pillar thinking, oh, I needed to be casting this. Yeah, a couple of Incubators getting caught out here, but there's just not that much that shoots up. There's a single Castigator roaming around somewhere, and then this base is finally going to go down.
Though, like, I think shooting this base with the Behemoth and then leaving is the absolute way to go, because it's such a risky army to have all these high-tech units. If you get like just dived on, it could go really poorly. We'll see the reinforcements start trickling out, and Hydra has to scout that 10 o'clock base. This is such an epic game. He must be wondering how the hell Santa's still in it.
I don't think he knows about the 9, because he can't, because he's been forcing at this third, or this base just out the front of the natural. He's been forcing that base over and over again. I don't think he knows the 9 o'clock base is there, right?
If you told me Santa was going to go toe-to-toe with Hydra in an epic macro game on Frontiers, I would not have. I just wouldn't have believed you.
I would have left the call. I would have left the call right there. This is a banger, and a really great game. And I think, I want to see if Hydra adjusts with more pillars and more fights, because
more Citadels. But you've got to creep them forward. Because like as soon as you claim that ground with a Citadel, then you force them to push into it, and then you Empire and Broken it. Like, this is what we need. We need this position taken and held. get some fire singers up, really claim that ground.
Yeah.
Now Santa's got to be careful not to get out of position here because a quick strike on these bases and those two are gone.
Yeah, so he sees it now.
Sees the
Surely
he might not see. Well, he might not see the rootway. He hasn't revealed the main structure yet. So.
Oh, that's right. You only see the rootway once you see the god heart or the grove heart in this case. So he doesn't know still. Yeah, so Hydra's realized he's gone. I've got all this Pyre and nothing to spend it on, and so he's just put down like 4 citadels. He's placing things everywhere, and you know what? He's at 400 Pyre still because the amount he's generating and the amount of Pyre that he had banked is just through the roof. He's going to just place citadels everywhere from now on because he knows that pillar cooldown's so long that he can't. He can't spam that out and use it. This is a really weird one.
I think this trade's good for Santa because he has those bases on the left. He doesn't really care about the right anymore. Like it's the kind of small potatoes for him, that one base, and now he's positioned nicely to kind of siege at Hydra. Hydra's got to re-expand. Hydra's sitting there on his first couple of bases. Look at the units in the top right. Santa's been taking out Hydra's third base from mining as well. Is this the one thrum?
One run by thrum, a couple of thrums. You see, Santa's evolved his strategy. You've seen one thrum. Check this out, man. This is what I call the 2 thrum.
Ooh, the Aerox.
A couple of Aerox getting picked off there. They really want to get good hits on those Charu because the Charu are going to try and, cast this spell.
Oh, the smite's on the Behemoth. That Behemoth is dead for sure. Oh, never mind. It's a worthy Behemoth. It's got so much HP.
Huge Behemoth. Yeah, so you're totally right. And not only that, Santa's mining out bases that should be Hydras. Those are Hydra's late game bases over there, and he's stealing all the alloy out of it. Oh my god, the
Queedle. There's so many. Dude, this is such an epic game.
There's a Bloodwell out there now, and I don't even know if... I still don't think Hydra knows. Maybe there's a suspicion now when he... This is so funny. Hydra's putting down these citadels. The foundations everywhere, and then citadels on top of them because he's still got to get through this Pyre. The Pyre bank is enormous for Hydra.
Yeah, I would love to see Hydra creeping them forward in other areas where there's not as much fighting happening. I love this run by with the 2 Zentari just to force some multitasking out of center. Really make it a mechanics question. There is an Aerovore there, and there's a couple of reinforcements that are going to take care of it. Nice move here, get behind. Oh, some casters vulnerable at the back. That must be the rally point.
Dreadsister got to pull the back up. Yep. So the other thing that's hilarious about this position, there are siege moors, there's a Bloodwell, there's a base, another pillar, on this position. But
I love the pillar.
Actually,
use that
Santa
Pyre.
can run the... Oh, the pillar's going to get taken out, and that's going to be 2 minutes before you can use any more of this insane Pyre bank. And now, Santa's going to hit that Red Harvest, run forward. Who cares if you lose a couple of units? It's okay to trade now. You've got the money, right? Yeah, pushing forward.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
Santa's
not going to push
low,
into that, though.
Santa's got to chill for a moment. I don't know if Santa has that much Pyre to work with. And Hydra's been taking out all the citadels and, Hydra's been placing all the citadels and also taking out Grove Guardians. So Santa doesn't even have a good place to heal those units. Normally you'd have Bloodwells and normally you'd have,
there is a
Grove Guardians.
There is a Bloodwell up at that 10 o'clock base, right? And I think that's a great place to heal. And not only that, I think it's a great place to sit your army right now. I think Hydra should be running the Behemoth over that wall at that 10 o'clock base and just launching stuff into those production structures. It's a really strong position.
Main,
Yeah, he could have destroyed all the production. And so another Citadel going down.
Oh, the Aerox delete the Charu.
Yeah, and so that's a huge...
Oh my god.
I still don't think you can fight into 30 Citadels, but I like the energy.
No way, Xander, don't do it.
Yeah, that's a... Gonna drop a whole lot of Keto. He doesn't mind fighting a little bit further back. I still don't think it's worth it. There's a lot of AoE damage coming down from Hallowers. All of his army is super low, and I think Hydra can smell the blood in the water. Yeah, that Resident needs to undeploy. There needs to be something here to make this make sense, Santa, because I don't think you win this fight straight up.
Santa can do this, but he's got to make it slower than this. You know, he's got the eco advantage. He's got a great eco advantage. Hydra's only just now getting those right side bases up, but you can't be trading your army. If your army gets wiped and Hydra then just rolls over to those left side bases, it's all over. Yeah. I'd love to see a Grove Guardian from Santa if he can just get a little more Pyre, because the AoE healing is so important at this stage of the game. Like one Ore Strike in the middle of the pack. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah,
I think this is going to Hydra, and Santa desperately needs this.
Yeah, no, the Pyre is so much more important. Hydra is mostly here to deny that Pyre, right? Like he's flooding, and I think with 10 Citadels, you can probably cast pillars on cooldown for the rest of the game without getting any Pyre camps.
That's a beautiful pillar.
Hilarious close, really good pillar. That's going to give a huge power advantage. Santa's pushing forward to try and get some of the enemy units here. There's a lot of castigators here at the front line, which is quite funny.
Santa's just trying to force it down. He's just trying to step forward enough to force it down, and he's not going to do it through the DPS
there on the low ground
from the pillar. Oh my god, this fight over the Ancient is crazy!
DPS check.
Surely this can't last.
Yeah, no, I think
surely the DPS wins out here. We've got to see some units split off somewhere.
All
the Pyre camps are up as well. We're fighting desperately over this, and all the Pyre camps are up. Nice position by Hydra, getting units on a big concave outside the ramp.
Yeah, I think Hydra gets it, but I think Santa was in the main just now with, I think, the Behemoth? Something was there. Yep, there it is. So he's finally got onto that, and I think that's going to be a really powerful position. Depending on how this fight goes, there's a lot of Absolvers set up here already, so this fight's going to be really dangerous.
No,
Red Harvest goes in, piles in. So many units in that Red Harvest right now. There's going to be so many free units tanking and dealing damage here. Yeah, massive swing. It's really hard to deal with that kind of amount of units in Red Harvest. Every single unit that dies is going to come back as a Ketel. And then those Ketels are going to tank up so much of that damage from those Absolvers and things. Yeah, huge win for Santa there. And now he's got this Behemoth position, / play, I think, right? And he can operate into that main base from his...
But can he get anything from this? That's the question, right? Santa won a great fight. I love that fight. Hydra's eco's down. He's been struggling because he's been spending money to get those bases up on the right side. Santa took a great fight, absolutely, but there's a wall of 6 Citadels he's got to get through. He's not breaking that. He needs some way to get through this, and at the moment, like Hydra's countered the Behemoth, right?
I don't think he needs to get through.
There are a lot of castigators.
Though, because look at this position, right? Like, so the only bases that are probably mining very well for Hydra right now are these ones on the right side. I think he just needs to trade really efficiently, right? The Behemoth poking into the main is keeping a huge pack of units there, right? There's a whole hit squad trying to stop the Behemoth, and while I think he does need to trade, this might not be. Yeah.
Do you think it's a rally? Maybe it's a loss you rallied units.
No, it's not a rally. There's a Behemoth there, and they're guarding that guy. This guy right here has come in and blown up other production structures. Here he goes, gonna try it again. Santa's taking the third base of Hydra right now in a fantastic move. This is just crazy.
That is such a funny base. Dude,
it's so funny that Hydra hasn't taken
it.
Yeah, and look at this Behemoth is just chipping away. It's so many fronts here. You know, and Hydra's desperately trying to claw back that other base on the side that he really needs.
Hydra should put a Citadel there.
Hydra should put 12 Citadels there. He's got the Pyre to do it. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, another Citadel coming up to protect this base out on the side, and there's a lot of fights on so many fronts.
I'd love to see a Bloodwell there. This would be just primetime Bloodwell location.
Dude, the pressure.
The drums are back.
The pressure that Santa has been applying throughout this game to so many different angles is actually stretching Hydra a lot, and he's a good player, right? And so like being able to put this pressure in so many different places and really like strain him this much is super impressive, right?
Yeah.
This hilarious base is finally going to go down, which is about right. But at what cost? Because now Santa's going to run straight into that other base, clear up all the Citadels,
not worth it.
clear up this expansion. I don't know if it's worth it. No,
like,
not at all. I think
not
you want
worth
to trade
it for Hydra. And look at this. Like Santa's like,
Bloodwell.
well, sure, I'll make this mine now. Siegemore, Grove Guardian, Bloodwell, like everything.
Resonance
like Santa's okay to make this trade.
I don't think you want to push into the Empire Unbroken just yet, but you do. The high ground is really strong here, right? And I don't know if you want to give up the high ground.
You don't think you should push into 10 Absolvers? You don't think so?
I think it's suboptimal. I think if I had to, put that as like there's the best play, and then there's that play. So yeah, look at the deploy on that. So many rooms.
Dude, I think honestly, Hydra's almost at the point where he can run in with that many Absolvers. I'm not even joking. Like, Santa has no Pyre, but like Hydra doesn't know this. Of course, he thinks he probably has.
Hydra has very little alloy. Look at Hydra's income right now. It's just ticking up so slowly. He has so very little, and so a good Red Harvest will swing this. I don't know if you played into that without the Pyre though. I think Santa needs to be patient, and I think he needs to sacrifice this base possibly more to try and delay, because you can't fight that Absolver in Pillar, right?
No way. No way. Yeah. Not without your own Pyre. It's just impossible. And Like, this could, like, Santa really needs to be taking some Pyre here, because, like, without his Pyre abilities, it's so hard to take a fight. He's gone with a strategy that has a lot of, like, wow, look at this.
It's so mined out.
Everywhere's mined out.
Hydra's just getting
like,
nothing.
Santa's got so many hunters. He needs Rain of Blood. He needs Red Harvest. Like, he needs these Pyre things, but he's not getting that Pyre income. He's done such a good job with the economy, though. Like, Hydra's like just struggling for
playing
money.
So many bases. And the key thing here is that, like, while Pyre is awesome to take that fight, if he can't take that fight, then it's actually okay to just trade out, right? Like, he's got the money advantage. Every unit, every Absolver that he kills, like, can come at a pretty high cost for him personally, right? And there's a Pyre camp right now, so he can finally take that. And look at that, the amount of free units that he can throw into this is fantastic. He's in a position in the game where he gets to trade non-stop, and Mala is the Immortal about trading, right? Like, they trade so well. Red Harvest makes every trade valuable, even if you're losing, right? All of these things play so well into his favor. And while Orzum gets to tank, like, turtle up and have all this, you know, these fortifications. Oh my god, he's pulling this camp back. What is going on here?
He's killing it with symbiotes.
That's because he doesn't want to move that army away from that expansion. That is so wild. He's got a single
That's the correct play. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, he needs the Pyre. That's a critical Pyre camp to get. It gets him that, like, critical number to get to a Red Harvest.
It's so interesting that, like, to see Santa's, like, so aware of that, using those workers for those small edge cases. You know, because I think a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, you can do this cool worker trick at the start of the game. You can get like a little bit of Pyre by doing this. But to be like, hey, it's like minute 40.
Oh, it's got to force a trade. Santa's got to make a move here when he sees this army on the left side. Where are you going, Santa?
Where is he going? And he's going across the map. I don't agree with that. I think.
I think this is okay. I think it's okay because
if he can cash
all you have to do is like trade. You want to drag it out as long as you can. Trade is like over such a long time that the eco just works in your favor. Because Hydra's just now getting up a mining base at his 4th base.
Yeah.
The one that has already lost income to Santa.
It's gonna be a big choice here. So as soon as those absolves, then there's a pillar. So
replaces Citadel immediately. I love that.
Yeah. I think Santa may have spent some of his Pyre on like a Bloodwell or something.
Yeah,
because he's quite low. Yeah, because I think what he needs to either chip away, which is very hard, obviously, because there's absolves everywhere.
The Grove Guardian. Oh, thank God.
I think you do want to protect this base though, because you're not mining in many other places.
Citizens risk.
Oh, these absolvers are a bit out of position here. So the army's going to be split, and he can get to dive onto one of them, and he's going to choose to swing to the left. He's just going to be amongst it. He doesn't quite have enough of the Red Harvest. The Resonant's going to deploy. I think he's going to just trade into this anyway. I think he might have enough too. There's going to be so many Ketel coming down from those behemoths. They hadn't unloaded the Ketel yet, so there's just so much on the ground. The amount of health. Yeah, the Resonants are going to cleave away at all of these absolvers here, and the pillar's out of position. And Hydra's army isn't in it. Santa's is. He's going to take out the pillar, and now this whole army is out of position. There's not going to be another one, and Santa's got so much alloy in the bank, and he's going to clean it up.
So much GG! Oh my God!
Santa.
What a game from Santa!
Huge upset, dude. Because we've been referring to Santa as this cheese lord, this cheese demon, and he's out here just winning macro games against Hydra, right?
Oh my God!
So that is a wild game. A
Santa,
wild game.
We did you dirty.
Yeah.
We did you dirty. That was,
oh my God.